So we're making Kachcha KELE ki sabji, a green banana curry. Kachcha in Hindi is like raw and KELE is banana. Yum. First things first is green banana. So I got a couple here at the market yesterday. I've got 4, but we're actually only going to make 2. These are KELE bananas. So when ripe, they become red. So we're going to have a little bit of a taste test. They are hard to open. They're not plantains either. Plantains are something else again. So they're really starchy, which is what makes them so beautiful for cooking. So the preparation for this dish is fairly simple. We are going to cut it into fine cubes, fry it in a little bit of mustard oil, and a really simple masala. So it's not a complex cook, which makes the result all the more delicious. The difference between this KELE banana and this sort of, I guess, I don't even know, it's like a standard lady finger banana. There is a structural difference, and that will come through when cooking. I wish you could feel it. You can actually feel it in the texture. So this green banana has actually a little bit of sponginess. It has a little bit of give. So it's not hard. So when it's a very, very hard like this one, this is meant to be eaten ripe. What you find is unripe and hard like this, all of the taste element of the banana is sort of trapped inside the fibrous structure. It hasn't ripened yet. The taste hasn't bloomed. I'm gonna give it a go. That is not nice. Chalky and gelatinous, or this sort of sticky gel at the same time. This is still chalky, but it has a water chestnut quality and it's texturally much more pleasing. So it's always nice to try your raw ingredients to see, I guess, what you're beginning with, so you know where you're going. I do need a little bin, don't I? Tips for preparing produce. So the smaller you cube these bananas, the faster they'll cook. That being said, it is banana, so it doesn't have an enormous, I guess, structural body that you have to cook through in order to prepare the food for eating. It's not like a protein or even a potato. It's softer. All right, we're going to use a little kadai. So in terms of equipment that we need to make this green banana curry, it is almost nothing. I'll show you what I mean. So we'll use this little kadai. You could do it in a frying pan, actually. Definitely don't need a pressure cooker. Relatively high heat, and just let me gather my spices for this. What we're working with is we're going to work with mustard oil. So this is actually a vegan, vegetarian curry. Why we're using mustard oil is that we want the end result of this masala to be, I think that's about right, quite bright, but also the astringent quality, that sort of nasal clearing, hot, slightly slicing element of the mustard oil does really beautiful things to the KELE when it's green. It makes it so sharp and bright. So one of the techniques when we're making any sort of sabji working with heat is understanding what heat to use with what dish to which effect. So this is essentially like a stir fry. So a kadai is different to a wok in that it's thicker and it conducts heat differently. It conducts heat with a more resonant building glow of temperature as opposed to a wok, which is sort of like searing instantly. All right, so just gonna wait for that to come to temperature. So you just want to cut the garlic nice and fine. I'm not going to use onion. It's quite subtle, and there's this really lovely floral quality in the banana itself that the mustard oil shows, but that onion would cover up a little bit. It's just a really quick flash through cook. In order to get this really hot, really fast, to make that KELE cook a little bit caramelized on the outside and not have to sort of cook down too much to ruin the structure or to break down the structure, which in itself is very beautiful and will allow the masala to carry. I need to apply heat quite quickly and a little bit more fat, a little bit more mustard oil. I had a tablespoon in there, but I'm gonna add another half. The other thing that's always nice to have on hand actually is a little bit of water, which I will get just in case we need it to cool down. So this is gonna go in. So hing, we put, it's a couple of pinches, a few cloves, so let's just say 2. A teaspoon of mustard seed, and then the garlic. It's fragrant instantly, like that clove is really strong. I'm just moving it around so that it's not going to burn. I definitely don't want the garlic to take on a burnt tone. A little bit of water just cools the oil a fraction before the KELE goes in. Now what I am going to do is salt it now, because the salt will draw out some of the starch in the green banana. And not only does it speed up the cooking process, but it allows the banana to expel itself of moisture, and for that to come into the fat and the masala, and then for the KELE to, as it's cooking, to take all of its liquid content back up again, but this time beautifully spiced and touched by mustard oil. So you're getting inside out flavour. So in terms of cooking tips for understanding how to build really beautiful flavour, you do need to be tasting your food all the time. So I'm going to taste it now, because we're sort of at the halfway point of building masala. And I just want to make sure I'm on the right track. It is super hot. It's already so yummy. It has an inherently cooling quality banana. One of its benefits is in that green stage. It's not heating for the system. So I can taste that cooling quality. A little bit of chalkiness is still there. It hasn't cooked through yet. It's really beautifully salted, so I don't need to go any further with that. The floral elements, I'm just going to show you one thing. I'm going to show you the banana flour, which I'm going to cook a little bit later. So these aren't prime examples because they're a bit black, but the banana flour itself it's beautiful and delicate, and so that essence is in this ripe banana if you know how to draw it out. Drawing it out, as I said earlier, is that your masala has to give a frame for the banana without overtaking it. So we don't want anything too heavy, we don't want too much, which is why it's quite subtly spiced. A teaspoon, or it's really a half a teaspoon, cumin seed. And I'm going to just turn this off for a second while I get my spices together. A little bit of haldi, so maybe 1/3 of a teaspoon, and then a little bit of chili. And that's probably to taste as well, but I'm going to say about 1/2 a teaspoon. And I nearly forgot. Dhania or coriander powder, which in and of itself has this really beautiful chamomile floral quality, which will also play into that, the sweetness that's inherent and the floral essence that's inherent in the green banana as well. Okay, I am going to back onto heat. I'm going to put just a fraction more mustard oil in because it's sticking. The cooking process is like 5 minutes. The actual application of heat, it's a really quick cook. I want to try. The banana's totally broken down. Texturally, it's very beautiful. It's quite strong spicing, but it's not strong on the system. It doesn't feel heavy. And that's the benefit of using a produce like green banana, where it's not a potato. There's not a lot of tomato and onion, or there's no tomato and onion in here. So that keeps it a little lighter and a little less, it's a little more cooling on the system. So that's basically done. I'm gonna, and then right at the back, as I'm talking, I'm getting banana flour. So it takes a little while to come through because it's pushing through the spice, but it's there and it's subtle and it's exactly what you want it to be.